What's up, guys? This is the third episode of Nobcast. You've not heard from us in a while.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for this. We've just been busy with school and everything.
Yes.
Sam over here got a job as well. So.
Oh yeah, just blame me.
That's not the reason. Yeah.
But yes, that has taken quite a lot of the time away. Especially with it being Christmas.
And soon man will drive his own car. Which has nothing to do.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with this, no.
Anyway. Yeah, we're going to be doing a video on the Spiderverse, so we're obviously going to include No Way Home.
So, spoilers!
Yeah, be careful. If you haven't watched already, and if you haven't watched already, you're a disgrace. I'm sorry to inform you.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, just go away. There's nothing here for you.
Yes.
You don't gain anything out of this.
Unless you want to... We will talk about the other Spider-Man, like the trilogy with Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield one.
Into the Spiderverse.
Yes, just the entire Spider-Verse. I feel like you know about it more, so you can kind of...
Oh, great.
Maybe give a summary.
The Spiderverse is basically just the multiverse, but when it's just Spider-Man. So it's different variations on Spider-Man. Sometimes it's Peter Parker, sometimes it's Gwen Stacy, sometimes it's, whatever. The first instance of any sort of multiverse in Spider-Man I've seen is in the 1994 animated show.
Oh,
don't know
really?
if you've seen that.
Is that one on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I'm thinking of doing so.
It's got like a bunch of Spider-Men that team up.
So that already happened before?
Yeah.
I never knew if it was like...
Yeah, there's a bunch of Spider-Men that team up to fight off one villain. It's like the earliest one that I know of, like in movie and TV. Might be wrong. Probably am, but who knows?
The thing about Spider-Man, I'm not sure how many like actual live action movies are there, but I know that the only kind of ones that are actually a success is obviously the early 2000 trilogy of Tobey Maguire. Then you have the Andrew Garfield one. Then you have Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at Batman, quite a few I think played Batman, but Spider-Man is kind of like a much more smaller circle. Like how much pressure you would feel if you played Spider-Man.
In live action, there was like the Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. But obviously that didn't become like
the 70s.
That wasn't like a worldwide success. Obviously.
No, and that wasn't even available in like different countries for years.
I'm curious about it. Did you see it?
No, I saw clips
of it.
I
just saw a fight
and it was really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like different Spider-Man and that is the normal one from
I'm pretty sure
universe.
in all Spider, like all those dimensions, isn't like his only love interest MJ?
No, because there's Gwen Stacy. And then
wait, really?
Yeah, because that's who's in Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes there is a relationship between Spider-Man and Black Cat. But Black Cat likes Spider-Man and not Peter Parker.
Oh.
Which is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it is. So, in the comics, was there always MJ and Gwen Stacy? Did they always coexist, or was it one time it was her and the other?
I'm not actually sure.
That's quite interesting if there ever was both.
I
mean, I'm pretty sure I've only read one comic when it comes to Spider-Man. And it's quite interesting, to be honest, to read the comics, because that's what it all started with.
There's one I wish I could actually get, and it's the first one with the symbiote, with a black suit.
Is it the comic?
Yeah.
Wait, is it the one where you can where there's like those red background? I'm not sure, because I've seen the one with Venom.
I'm not sure.
They're all expensive.
Like, the one that I wish I could have and say that I have in my collection is the first one with a black suit.
But like the original, not like a reprinted one.
But like,
they're not
side
cheap.
tangent, the black suit is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, we seem to always go on this tangent of...
But that's what gives us adds the minutes up.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, then you're gonna see a photo of it. If you haven't before.
I'm gonna show you different versions of it. Like, there's the one from the animated show, which looks amazing.
Wait, so let me be clear about this. When he has this suit on, is there a connection to Venom? Or
yes, it's the same sort of symbiote that takes over.
Which makes him obviously...
Makes him stronger and all that. It amplifies everything.
But He's not kind then, right?
No. And there's like the one from the comics.
So cool. Yeah, the comic one looks really cool.
Oh no.
There's something about it. There's just more simplicity to it and it looks so cool.
Like the one from Spider-Man 3. I think that just looks beautiful.
It's like looking at a nice car. I can't explain it, but it just...
Yeah. But yeah, like the black suit. Small tangent over, sorry.
Yeah. But about the original suits, we were having this conversation when we were walking in, and we both agree, or that like we think that Tobey Maguire's suit is kind of the coolest.
It's the way they've got the webs.
Aren't the webs like sticking out?
Yes.
That's what I like about it.
Like the silver webs sticking out and everything.
So it's not like a cheap kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I quite like the suit from the end of Far From Home. Not Far From Home, from No Way Home.
Yeah.
Where it's got the gold spider on the Far From Home suit.
Good.
And this is an unpopular opinion, but I really don't like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, which is the one that he showed up with in the new movie.
Could you show me this one again, because I would like to pay attention. So, is that different from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2? Because I haven't seen those two in a while.
The Amazing Spider-Man 1 has a different one from 2, but in No Way Home he shows up in the same one as he was in 2.
Because that makes sense, because it's later on. And then he's walking in an alleyway.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Maybe he needed something.
He needed to go home. Couldn't find his way. Like, that's it there. That's the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit.
Alright.
And, in my opinion, I like...
Was it with the eyes or being too big, or...
I don't know, it just...
Is that the first one?
That's the one for the first one.
Where there's a lot of blue.
I don't know, I just preferred that one.
I quite like that one as well.
And then
I think the eyes changed a lot, the shape of them. Doesn't in the Tom Holland Spider-Man, don't they move?
Yes.
The eyes, so they added CGI or something.
Yeah.
Which is more comical, I guess, so it works as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's more like the comics, because they move in the comics. I don't know how,
it's
but
more
you know.
cartoony. Yeah.
And then there's Tom Holland's new suit, which is cloth. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I like the spider on it. It shows up at the end of the movie.
Wait, what about the one with the like the spider legs that he has at the beginning of it?
I think that's mostly destroyed. Like, he decides to stay away from that because it's Stark tech instead of, and he's deciding to make a new life for himself.
Oh right, yeah, that's true. Wait, so because I actually haven't seen Far From Home, so does he? So I assume that in Far From Home they say that Iron Man and Tony Stark dies, right?
Yeah. That's the whole point in the film, like, who's going to be the next Iron Man?
But do we know the answer or not?
No.
Because someone's going to have to take the position.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine Tony Stark being someone else because of how, like, you've seen the actor over the years.
It's more of just, like, who's going to take the place in the universe.
Yeah. Not necessarily Iron Man.
Peter decides that he doesn't want to be Iron Man, he wants to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's a very good idea.
But back to, like, talking about the original films, the Tobey Maguire ones, they're a bit cheesy.
Well, some lines, yeah. But that was like early 20s and...
That's because it's 2002. It was... the first one was released.
Yeah.
Like, but they're still incredible. If you look at the way some shots are actually filmed, and the way the fight scene at the end goes.
Wait, the first one?
Yeah.
With Green Goblin?
Yes. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man gets the absolute crap beaten out of him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to expect the CGI to be the best, but at least it's not noticeably bad. It's actually, it doesn't make you distracted or anything.
There's one thing...
Unless there's ones.
There's a couple scenes where I watch them back and I'm like, okay, that's very clearly CGI. And it's quite bad.
Which one?
Any three of the original ones. It's like where it gets really weird animated jumps and everything.
Or yeah, some of them are.
But there's one thing that annoys me or that isn't the best about the first one, and it's when the Green Goblin has his mask on, sometimes his mouth doesn't add up to what he's saying, because you can see his lips through the bit in the mouth of the mask. And there's sometimes where it doesn't match up what he's saying, or his lips just don't move at all. When they first meet Spider-Man, and Spider-Man goes to punch him and he catches his fist, the Green Goblin goes, "Impressive!" But his lips don't move. And it doesn't make sense considering most of the stunts were done by Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I just don't get.
But, you know, I mean, that is like the kind of Spider-Man feature film that kind of set the whole thing.
Yes.
Like, it started it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was so amazing to see Tobey Maguire in it and Andrew Garfield. But
it's amazing to see Andrew Garfield. Amazing.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Yeah, but the man that literally should get an Oscar for lying.
Oh no, he should not. He was awful lying.
It's like, I am not going to blink, and then proceeds to blink 100 times.
But like,
but the thing is, see, I didn't actually. So before I went to watch the movie. By the way, I was going to go and see it with him, but then I got sick, and that was very annoying. But I did end up seeing it the night after. I was still sick, but, you know, you got to sacrifice yourself for the No Way Home. And, yeah, it was...
It was alright for my family as well, because we had an empty seat next to us.
Alright. Had an empty seat. Alright, yeah, but it was so good to see Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
But I actually was kind of fooled. Like, before I went to see it, I had some doubts. I didn't actually know. I was starting to think, like, oh, maybe Tobey Maguire wouldn't want to do it and everything.
They've done it so well to make us think that they're in it, that maybe they're not.
Yeah, you start having doubts that, like, maybe it's just the hype and thing, because how many times there's a hype and nothing happens. But then I destroyed the whole thing, and I looked at the casting, and because the movie came out at this point, I couldn't lie anymore. I had to tell you that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's in it, because I don't assume that was there before that, because everyone would know. But
like, talking about casting, in every Spider-Man film, there has been brilliant casting.
Yeah,
like the first one, Tobey Maguire, he's okay at being Spider-Man, but not a high school age Peter Parker. The opening shot of that is so weird, because it opens with, like, mid-20s Tobey Maguire running after a school bus.
Yeah, they always do that with movies, though.
But, like, Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. Oh, what a brilliant casting choice. Like, the duality of that character, he plays it brilliantly, and he brings a manic performance to it.
And, I mean, Willem Dafoe has a very particular, like, face.
Yes.
You wouldn't miss him, you know what I mean? You kind of know that it's Willem Dafoe, and it really worked very well for Green Goblin.
And the voice that he uses and everything, some of the ways he says some of the lines, that makes it so memorable.
And his laugh, he does the laugh as well, right? That laugh is very creepy as well, when he's on the glider.
Yeah. Like, the lines are so memorable that Shaddy's had to hear me do my awful impression of them.
Yeah, and because I know how much he likes the Green Goblin, for Christmas I got him a whole graphic novel.
He did. And I started reading it when I was at college, because this man was sick, and he wasn't at college. You missed this.
Yeah.
I started reading it out, and whenever the Green Goblin had dialogue, I'd read it out in the impression.
God. How could I miss this?
I know what you're feeling right now.
What?
Misery, misery, misery.
Oh my god.
But yes, and then if you move on to, like, Spider-Man 2, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Hold on, we've missed one from Spider-Man 1 that's in all of them. J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, that no one's gonna take that role, because
he's perfect for it.
Like, just the typical rich asshole. I mean,
that really wants pictures of Spider-Man.
And that will fire you, and then he will unfire you.
Yes, you're fired. Come here.
You're on fire.
Yeah.
And then you know that scene where he just laughs him off? That's the best scene ever.
No, the best scene is when Betty Brant, his assistant, comes in and is like, your wife says she's lost her checkbook. And he's like, thanks for the good news. Like, the man is such a cheapskate.
He is such a good actor.
And then, I can't really think of any more.
Is he in all of the Spider-Man movies?
Yes.
That's great that they kept
Other than
him.
the Amazing Spider-Man ones, he's not in them.
Is he not in them?
No, but J. Jonah Jameson's only in an email in them, so it's not as if they replaced him.
Alright.
He just wasn't in it.
Alright.
But
But the sad thing is, obviously Stan Lee, right?
Yes.
He was obviously not in the
last two.
The last two. Was he not in?
He wasn't in Far From Home. Because that came out after Endgame, and I think Endgame was his last one.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been stupid to just CGI. It's not going to be the same. It would just be like cheating you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's really sad because he would have wanted to see the last, at least the most recent one, No Way Home. He would have wanted to see that because it's
I could imagine how pleased he'd be about that.
And
because Spider-Man was always his favourite. There's a little known fact.
Yeah, he was his greatest creation.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what Green Goblin says. You're my... Something like that, anyway.
You're a wonderful creature, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But, like... Yeah, it's...
So, moving on to the second one. Spider-Man. What did you say? What's the guy who...
Alfred Molina.
Yeah, that guy.
Who has an incredible American accent. He's British.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I can't really think of any more in Spider-Man 2, to be honest.
No, but... Wait, is James Franco not an...
We're not talking about James Franco.
Is he not an enemy in that one?
No, well he is, kind of.
Wait, is it in the third one where he goes, so good?
Yes.
Can you do an impression?
So good. Oh, that hurt. But yes.
Then he winks and disappears on the table.
Yes, he hides under the table as the man behind him susses him out. But moving on to Spider-Man 3, Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. What an amazing villain.
Yeah.
Topher Grace as Venom. Not right.
I think that's just because for Venom, most of it has to come from CGI.
It's not that. Sam Raimi didn't really get Venom and how to do it, but it was Sony that was like, okay, you're going to do it. So he didn't really have much creative control as a director in his film. So that's why Venom was there. If it was up to him, it wouldn't be.
Because you kind of need CGI, don't you? They weren't ready then, I think.
But it's also because Venom's meant to be, as you can see here, just this big bodybuilder, because that's what Eddie Brock was.
Yeah.
But in Spider-Man 3, he's just dark Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. Speaking of Venom, Tom Hardy's much better at it.
Yeah. Obviously,
you don't need to hear another Tom Hardy impression.
Bane. Yeah, this man does a lot of impressions, and he does an impression as Bane as well.
Yes, that's for another episode.
Which we've heard too many times, but which we're going to hear again on another episode.
Yeah. If we talk about Christopher Nolan films, which is the Dark Knight trilogy.
To be honest, I think we should talk about all of his films, or at least the most of them, because they're just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, I can kind of tell when I'm watching a Christopher Nolan film because it would just blow your mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not get lost in Christopher Nolan for now.
Let's not get lost in Christopher Nolan. Yeah. That's always a goal of mine.
Yeah.
But one person that's in every Spider-Man Sam Raimi film that I love his cameos, not only Stan Lee, but Bruce Campbell.
Because who's that guy, Bruce Campbell?
I'll show you. Because Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are longtime friends, right?
Yeah.
And he's in every Spider-Man film as a different character. I'll show you.
That's such a nice thing to do just because you're friends.
Oh, he's in like all of Sam Raimi's movies. Which started with The Evil Dead. Like there's Spider-Man 1, he's the ring announcer that gives Spider-Man his name. Spider-Man 2, he's the person outside the theatre that won't let Peter in because the play's already started. And Spider-Man 3...
That's not the French guy, is it? That's a different...
No, French guy's Spider-Man 3.
Wait, that's still him?
Yes. And he has my favourite quote when he's looking at the ring. He's like, I know romance. I am French. Like what?
You know those lines are cheesy, but they still made them.
Yes, they.
No one's gonna just forget them.
If they can make you laugh, then it's fine. If it's meant to make you laugh.
The thing about a lot of films now is that they have a line, but it doesn't make you laugh.
Alright, it makes you laugh when it's not meant to.
Yeah. And now, Yeah, what was wrong with Spider-Man 3, by the way?
There was
if
too
you wanna
many
elaborate on
villains.
that?
There was too many villains because there was Sandman, Venom, and the new Goblin.
Because I suppose, obviously,
James Franco.
the new one had a lot of villains, but
Yes.
they made it work, I guess.
Because they managed to split up the time evenly.
Yeah.
Because it just sort of kept jumping around, and at some point Sandman was completely forgotten about. Then he was brought
Alright.
back suddenly.
So it's either make a longer movie or
Yes.
don't
Plus,
get that many
Sam Raimi
villains.
didn't know what he wanted to do with Venom, so
Yeah, because
that creates a problem.
Yeah, that must have been confusing since, as you said, he was kind of restricted.
Yeah. Then
And
there's
so-
James Franco just sitting in a diner eating a pie.
That's so good.
So good. Then he winks and disappears. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, I'm not really qualified much to talk about it. I've seen it like once.
But before we go there, do you actually know why Spider-Man 4 was
I
cancelled?
think it was just because of how bad Spider-Man 3 was received.
Alright. See, I think now people would want to see Spider-Man 4 after seeing,
Yeah.
like... Yeah, because they just want to see... I mean, Tobey Maguire obviously still has it in him if he wasn't in No Way Home, so why
Yeah.
not do it?
And then, moving on to the Amazing Spider-Man series, Andrew Garfield is a good Spider-Man. I'll say that now. I never really liked him before, but now, after I've watched his movies and No Way Home, I'm like, give him another chance. With better writing for the villains. And, like, don't have him fight the Rhino in a mechanised suit.
A crazy Russian guy.
Yes, where he just sits there and screams, "I am the Rhino!"
Yeah, wasn't that a bit weird though, that scene? Like, wasn't that a bit unnecessary?
Yeah. It was
I
to
don't know.
show that after he sees Gwen's speech, he's motivated to become Spider-Man again.
But that villain
I-
was kind of just shoved
Yeah,
in there.
I would like to see the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but have it be slightly like higher rated, like age rated,
Yeah.
so you can see him stop pulling his punches, like he says in No Way Home. So you get this darker Spider-Man.
That would be cool.
It would.
That would work. Because Andrew Garfield is a good actor.
Yes.
He literally he got a lot of awards and played in a lot of good movies outside of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't say he's not a good actor. It's just the writing for this Amazing Spider-Man and
Yes.
everything. I mean, but yeah, but I remember that sad scene where, was it Gwen Stacy that he cannot
Yeah.
save? And I really loved the reference to that in No Way Home.
Yeah. Like he gets his redemption.
He redeems himself, kind of.
But then we're going to go into Spider-Man Homecoming, which brings this younger, more believable teenage Spider-Man with
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
And actually, from what I read recently, the reason Andrew Garfield no longer was Spider-Man was apparently because the people there they stopped respecting him as much because he didn't attend a lot of meetings and shows. And eventually they were just like, alright. And it was probably just to give someone else a chance, I
Yeah.
guess.
And a lot of people don't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man just because he's been written as like Iron Man Jr. But like, as a teenager looking up to Iron Man, with that help from Iron Man, would you say no to all these suits and all that
Yeah.
technology? But then, see, those same people will watch this new movie and now put it together that now he has to be on his own.
Yeah. Literally no one knows
Yes.
him. But wait, no one knows Peter Parker, right? Not
Yeah.
just Spider-Man.
People know Spider-Man, but
No Peter Parker.
not Peter Parker.
Which, well, at this point, to be honest, apart from his friends, I don't think he had anyone because his own mate died,
Yeah.
right? So, but it was a big sacrifice.
But then there's the whole of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, people are thinking, when Doctor Strange mentions that Peter changed his spell 6 times, but
Yeah.
Peter corrects him saying 5, there's a theory that people are like, maybe Strange changed it so that he'd still remember him. Because he didn't want to forget.
Alright.
But like,
Well, I heard about them doing, I don't know what it's called, I think it was called Secret Wars,
Yes.
the series about doing a movie with the 3 Spider-Men in it.
yeah.
And Avengers in it. Which I think would be like the cool next blockbuster thing.
Yeah.
Which would be cool if they did that.
But like, it's Spider-Man's a weird one because you can either go really serious or really campy.
And you don't want to overdo it.
Yes, you have to find a decent way for it to work.
Like, yeah, because it also depends on the writing and the directors.
Yes.
Like, if they want to have it all kind of lighthearted, I feel like that's maybe more... Would you say that's the way Tom Holland's one was?
Yes, and that makes sense because he is still in high school.
Yeah, he's still a kid.
Yeah, he's still a kid. He's going to treat everything as a joke until he can.
Until he grows up, for instance, like the other Spider-Man. Yeah, which actually does make sense. But now he obviously he's on his own now. He's gonna have to make out whatever he wants of the world. He has no Tony Stark to look up. He cannot get, help from his best friend Ned or from his partner, who no longer is his partner.
The one emotional thing about that is she's still got the necklace on that he gave her. So where does she think she got that now?
Oh right, I didn't notice that. So she still has it.
Yeah, and she was wearing it at the end, and he was just like... But I was thinking, where does she think she got that from now? Because
I don't know how they make sense of it.
She has no memory of Peter Parker, and he gave her that. So
maybe something just changes in her mind.
Does she just think that she got it
from someone else?
Or she's just had it for as long as she can remember? I don't know.
Yeah, it might work. So I mean, we don't know how that would even affect us because we've never nothing like that exists in real life. But it was it felt really sad. Also when you see Ned there on his phone, like completely in a different world. It's like completely like suddenly all of those moments that he had with his like long-time friend are just gone. Yeah, and it's like even if he told him about them now, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not as if they'd really believe it.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
There's no reason for them to.
The thing is, even if he somehow would believe it, they're still lost. He's just telling him about them. It's like, which is really, it's really sad. It's tragic what happened. And
getting on to, actually, before we go into that, we can talk about Into the Spiderverse. Did you see that?
All right. Wait, is that the
animated one?
I actually watched some of it.
Yeah,
didn't watch
it's
all
an
of
incredible movie.
I remember really liking the animation. Yeah, they were really cool.
But like that explores it more. Like Kingpin's trying to bring his family back from the dead from another universe.
Alright, so they're really playing with the universes now.
Yes, and from that he kills the first Spider-Man and something happens which brings other Spider-Men and Gwen Stacy as Spider-Girl into that other universe, and they have to try and fix it. And it gives a perfect thing of the different versions of Spider-Man that are out there. Like there's Spider-Man Noir, played by Nicolas Cage.
Well, the voice he's doing, really?
I didn't notice that until I googled it.
But what other Spider-Man are there? Because I didn't get to the part in the film where they actually appear.
There's the anime one where it's the little girl and the robot. There's Spider-Ham, which is a pig.
Oh yeah, I remember the pig one.
Voiced by John Mulaney, which is... Oh, he's incredible. But then there's also Miles Morales, which is like an amazing character, but he was already in the universe. Yeah. Can't wait for him to get like a live action movie. It's gonna be great.
Especially like thinking what actor's going to take the role on. Because it will have to be a young actor. So it'll probably be one of those actors that kind of, it's like his debut role. Yeah. His breakthrough.
But like, then they have to send the Spider-Man or all the rest of them home, and it's basically just a tale of Miles becoming ready to be Spider-Man.
Alright.
And the whole concept of the Spider-Verse is a brilliant thing for comic writers. Infinite possibilities. Yeah. They can make anything into Spider-Man.
And isn't there a game of the Miles Morales Spider-Man?
Yes, for the PlayStation 5. Yeah,
PlayStation 5 are getting all the Spider-Man.
Exactly.
We have Xbox players have nothing.
Oh, and we're getting Wolverine.
Oh, really? The game?
Yeah. It was announced at the same time Spider-Man 2 was.
What do you mean Spider-Man 2?
There's going to be a second Spider-Man game.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Where you can play as both Miles and Peter, and the villain's going to be Venom. So have fun with that. Oh wait, you can.
Wait, is there a Green Goblin in the game?
Norman Osborn's in the game.
Is he? I'm something of a scientist myself.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. And due to my do not disclose agreement, I can't tell you if the Green Goblin's going to be in the game.
Oh yeah.
I promise you, I'm not doing the voice of the Green Goblin in the game. But yeah, going on to like different versions of Spider-Man in the animated show from way back in 1994, there was a Spider Carnage version.
Really?
Which is just Carnage with Spider-Man. There's one in an armour, like an armoured suit, that's a billionaire who's a bit stuck up. It's sort of like Iron Man, but he's just in spider armour. Then there's one that's mutated and, you know, has 8 limbs. Because spiders.
Oh, right.
But, like, yeah, the whole Spiderverse is just infinite possibilities. And it's great.
But yeah, really. Amazing what they done.
Yeah. Do you want to get on to the spoilers and the No Way Home discussion?
Well, we haven't gone too far from home yet.
There's
that
not
much.
really much.
I mean, I didn't actually see it. I mean...
It's basically just Mysterio messing about with Peter's head when he's in a vulnerable place.
So, wait, is Mysterio... Because I'm actually kind of confused, because when I was watching the new one, like, is Mysterio... Because they called him a hero and everything. Is he good... Like, is he a villain or not a villain?
He's a villain that poses as a hero.
So he's not actually a hero?
No.
They think he was
a hero. Because he shows up with... Because he's the master of illusions. He can control illusions in that. In that film, he uses drones and that to project the illusions. And every attack that he stopped was all staged.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, so it's like make-believe.
Yeah, it's like CGI.
The reason I want to watch also is because I just love the actor, Jake.
Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Did you see Goatee?
I actually didn't.
It's such a good movie.
So good.
He's a good... So good. Why is James Franco fucking appearing? Like, we can't do this, especially after all the press stuff.
Yeah, James Franco isn't a good man.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you're doing a good impression of him.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
I don't know if that's a compliment, but you look more like James Franco than I do.
Thanks.
Now you can be James Franco.
This is the end of this channel. I'm going to murder Shaddy.
Yeah.
Not only does he not give me a chair, he also calls me James Franco.
Yeah, but they don't know that I'm not giving you a chair.
They do now.
You can't prove it.
It's the reason I keep having to readjust my posture. Because I don't have a chair.
Yeah, that's like fucking employee exploitation.
It is, yes.
But yeah, moving on to No Way Home.
From start to finish, it's basic non-stop amazingness.
Yeah. There is you wouldn't even want, like, no one went to the, like, when I was in the cinema, no one went to the toilet because you don't want to. You can miss anything.
Me and my family went before, and then my brother and my dad went during the first credits, so they'd make it back in time for the post-credits.
Yeah.
But, like, the whole time it was just non-stop emotion.
Yeah.
Like, at the start it picks up right from where Far From Home left off, with Spider-Man's identity being revealed, and then it jumps straight into him trying to hide from everyone. Then he gets arrested. Then out of nowhere, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, appears.
Yeah, that was cool.
As his lawyer.
Because that makes sense, because he's obviously a lawyer.
Yes, which coincided with his arch nemesis Kingpin showing up in the Disney Plus show Hawkeye.
Alright.
Who, the main lead for that, Haley Steinfeld, was voiced Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse.
Alright.
And
wait, did you see Hawkeye?
I did.
Is it good?
It was okay. It was decent.
But like, who's in it? Just Hawkeye and some other...
There's Hawkeye, which is Clint Barton, Jeremy Renner, Kate Bishop.
Hawkeye's just the same an Avenger actor, right?
Yeah. Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld. There's the whole mafia, the tracksuit mafia. It's as bad as you think.
So is Kingpin in it?
Yes.
I assume that's the same actor that was in Daredevil.
Yes, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Right, he's a good Kingpin.
He is. But yes, that coincided with that. Then it just goes into Strange, can you help? And he breaks the multiverse. Doc Ock appears.
Just always go to Doctor Strange if you have a problem that cannot be solved.
Doc Ock appears, and then from that,
So much.
Green Goblin appears after that fight.
That was an amazing way he appears. You
Yeah.
see the little bomb thing.
The pumpkin bomb, and then he
Yeah.
appears through the smoke. They're brought back. Then it cuts to one of my favourite scenes, where it's like the scene in the first Spider-Man film where he's talking to the mask,
Oh yeah, it is.
and then he shatters it, and then it's just like, okay, we need to go and find these people and imprison them.
But he did genuinely want to get help, right?
Yeah,
That was genuinely him.
yeah.
But how can you get rid of Green Goblin? Because clearly breaking the mask didn't do much.
It's more of a symbolic thing. He was trying to get it out of his head. That's
Pretty
what,
much going mad, right?
Yeah. But like the whole time, it's just because I thought the whole time that seemed like genuine. It was Norman until that one moment where he turns dark.
It's hard to describe.
We'll get to that in a bit. But like the whole time, from like the moment that they set off to catch all the bad guys, it's just like non-stop. Because through all that, then he tries to help them because Doctor Strange is about to send them back to die,
And then he,
which creates a conflict. So that leads into Peter versus Strange, which then ends with Peter deciding, okay, no, I'm going to help them, then send them back. Which then leads to the big turning point, where Green Goblin breaks out and causes all hell.
Yeah, hell breaks loose.
Which leads to him killing Aunt May, which was like the turning point in this Peter's life. That was his Uncle Ben's story.
Yeah, it was so cool when they were talking about how their Uncle Ben died, the other Spider-Man. I really loved how they all connected, the three of them.
And then there was
amazing.
that acting in that scene where Aunt May's dying.
Yeah.
She's just trying to protect him by saying that she needs to catch her breath.
Yeah, she's kind of like completely in denial, or just for him, that she's dying.
Like, there's no catching your breath, hen. Your lungs were punctured by a spiky glider.
Yeah.
As the Green Goblin's like, pay no attention to the spiky glider behind you. But like, the whole thing was amazingly acted.
And see the other villain that's kind of becomes nice. What do you call him? The Octo.
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. I mean, yeah. Isn't he? He actually becomes alright. He doesn't really want to cause that much trouble.
No, see, the story with him in this universe is he made those arms to make like renewable energy. That's what his line about the power of the sun in the palm of my hand is, and that's what Machine's talking about.
Alright.
But it goes wrong, kills his wife, and as he turns, he has an inhibitor chip on his neck, as they point out in the film, that gets destroyed, so the AI of the arms takes over his mind and causes him to be evil.
But then they take out again.
Yeah, once they fix it. Like, he goes good in the end of Spider-Man 2 as well. He decides he does not want to die a monster, and he sacrifices himself.
So who controls the AI thing?
The arms.
So they're just evil.
Yeah.
Really evil.
Because they are AI. Like, if you think about Otto Octavius's like inventions in that one film alone, he makes these arms, which he adds AI to. So that's two great achievements that he'd be considered the greatest scientist of all time for.
Yeah.
Then he goes and he literally creates a miniature version of the sun in New York. There was 3 things that would make him the greatest scientist of all time on their own.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And then, so they fix him, because he's not actually a bad guy, he's just being controlled by the arms.
Yeah, I like how they do the thing with AI.
Yeah.
Like, it could end like that.
But like, the villains all have their own story. Like Sandman, he just wants to get home to his daughter.
Because he escaped prison, right?
Yeah.
Is that not how it happened in the third one?
Yeah. He wants to help his sick daughter. And then, just the scene where Tom's Spider-Man is just sitting there listening to J. Jonah Jameson talk so much crap about him after he's just watched his Aunt May die. Like, completely distraught in the rain. Like, the whole world is
turning against him.
Yes.
I think at that point he just completely... He didn't even know what was off him or left of him anymore. No. That's why he went out and just was miserable.
And then when the other Spider-Men appeared and they come and see him...
They all kind of tell him that they went through that moment as well.
Yeah. And they all connect over the one line, with great power, there must come great responsibility.
Yeah.
And there was some knobhead in the cinema when I went to see it that made a fart noise at that point. I was like, oh, shut up. Like, what's the point? But like, then from there it's non-stop action.
Yeah, a lot of fight sequence.
Yeah. Like, that whole fight sequence is perfect. Like when MJ
when they're
falls,
on the Liberty statue.
When MJ falls and Tom's Spider-Man goes to get him.
I feel like when she was falling and Tom gets knocked out, everyone was kind of rooting for Andrew because it's like, that's your chance.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
It was like, without hesitation, he jumped.
Yeah.
And he learned his lesson. He didn't try and web her. He went to grab her.
Yeah.
And then it was...
Like, literally every single moment in this movie makes sense. Like, there's so many of these movies where, especially when it comes to Marvel, where there could be some scenes that are kind of dispensable. Yeah. But that was not the case here. Every scene really made sense for the characters and everything.
Yeah. And then when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Doc Ock reconnect.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the song, the theme song in the background.
Like, that was a great moment. Because these were old friends. Like, from the moment Doc Ock met Peter in Spider-Man 2, he liked him. What Doc Ock was told about Peter was that he was brilliant but lazy. And that's what he held him to. And then it's just like, it's how cheery they both get. Just, how are you, dear boy?
Yeah.
Trying to do better. It's just stuff like that.
Imagine how the actors must have felt after not seeing each other for so long.
The thing about that is, when Doc Ock appears at that final battle, you're like, oh no, has he went bad again? But no, he's not. And he helps them. And
also, I don't know if this is getting too far, but I love the scene where Tom Holland is about to kill him.
I was about to get onto that. Like, that sheer brutality of that in the first fight with the Green Goblin. Because I read that one of his clauses for coming back, Willem Dafoe, was to do his own stunts. I saw some of that. But because I read that before I saw it, and I was like, oh my god. Ouch.
But you can really see, because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man just gets in there, and I think he kind of knows that it's not good to become that evil.
He knows that anger. Because that's what happened with the person that killed his uncle. He was filled with anger. He made him trip and fall out a window. Yeah,
he doesn't even say anything when he's grabbing the glider. He just looks at him, and it was such an amazing scene.
The punches that he lays in just before that. Yeah. Oh. It's just...
How the fuck he would kill him at that point, since it's Spider-Man.
I like how for the Green Goblin... For everyone else, that wasn't even... Nothing was personal. They just wanted power or to go home. For the Green Goblin, that was personal. Everything he'd done there, he just wanted to cause chaos. But like, it's so great, like the acting, just because the Green Goblin thinks he's gonna win, because he thinks, oh yes, Spider-Man's gonna kill me, I'm gonna ruin his image. But he doesn't.
Because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Yes. It all connects.
Yeah.
And I feel like and then pretty much Doctor Strange sends them all home.
Yeah.
But then has to wait. Why again did he have to make everyone forget Peter Parker? It was something with this different people coming out of the sky.
The multiverse was about to crack open even worse than what it was already doing. So because the box exploded because the Green Goblin put a pumpkin grenade in it. So that caused the rifts in the sky to appear.
So what would happen if they didn't forget about Peter Parker?
Then the spell would have continued and it would have kept bringing more villains in.
Oh, Jesus, come on.
I mean, one of them I even saw was Rhino in his comic accurate costume.
You could see him there.
Yeah.
But, so pretty much, by forgetting Peter Parker, the villains actually forget him as well.
I'm not quite sure, but I think
that's
so.
Like, that's like the whole paradox thing, you don't really know.
Yeah. Well, you can't know Peter Parker as Spider-Man if you don't know Peter Parker, so...
Yeah.
I guess that's what it was.
And then pretty much there's the scene at the cafe or whatever, this little shop with Ned and
yes.
MJ, and when he enters, you hear the chime of the bells, and it's such an amazing moment. And they just look at each other, and you kind of question whether she remembers him or not, and then she doesn't. That was a very good scene. And then there's Ned in his own little bubble, just living his life like totally without Peter in it. And it's weird because they've known each other for so long.
Like
suddenly he doesn't know who he is.
Like with the fact that they go into MIT.
See, like I kind of wanted him to show the note, but then that would be weird if he just came up to her and showed her the note. It's like, it's really hard. Like, no one knows what you're going to do in that situation because no one's been in it.
Yeah. The one thing is, what do you do if people forget you?
Yeah. And you're still alive.
Yeah. Like, what would you do? Let's ask that question.
I feel like it's one of those questions you can't answer unless it happens, but...
Like, if the person you loved forgot you, what would you do?
I would probably go and try... I would definitely do what he did, to kind of just stalk around and try and see what's going on and how they're living their life. And I would want to come up to them, but then what are you going to say? I feel like when you're standing in front of them, your mind is just going to go blank because...
I'd like to say that I'd try and make them remember.
But then it's hard
but that's
to tell.
really difficult. And probably, depending on if they seem happier, I would let it happen. It would completely destroy me, but I would let it happen. If they could be happy, that's fine. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And the thing that Peter notices is the bandage on her forehead. He doesn't want to continue to put her in harm's way.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, there was so much, like, raw emotion in that. Like, that movie...
I feel like he actually wanted to say something to Ned. He's looking at him for a second, and then just...
He decides not to, yeah. But, like, that whole movie was just raw emotion, and it told a clear story from start to end.
I feel like Martin Scorsese would change his mind if he saw it.
That's what I'm referring to, like, when you said that, like... This movie has a clear purpose, has a clear story, and isn't just CGI.
It isn't just there for the shits of it or whatever. It's like, it actually has a lot of genuine, real emotions in it and everything.
Like, it's also people getting to, like, say goodbye to their childhood for good.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, imagine, like, watching Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield when you grow up and suddenly they're all there together. It's like, it's bigger than just a movie at that point.
It is. But, like, it's such an amazing experience. Like,
I literally, when I was a kid, I had Doc Ock's toy and Tobey Maguire's toy. I had both of them, so it's amazing that they're back now.
Yeah, like, honestly, I could go on and on about the acting of Willem Dafoe, because he makes you believe everything that's going on. Like, he isn't a crazy lunatic that flies around a glider, but you believe he is. And if that doesn't mark like a good actor, I don't know what does.
Did you see The Lighthouse?
I actually haven't. I keep meaning to. It's him and Robert Pattinson, isn't it?
I don't think I've finished it, but I might start watching it again because if you want to see him go crazy, you got to watch The Lighthouse. That's where they go crazy. Is
there anything else you've got to say? Because I feel like we've just run out of stuff. Like, the Spiderverse as a whole is an amazing concept, and I'd love to keep seeing it in live action or animated or even in games.
Yeah, for now I think we can hope that the Secret Wars thing is gonna happen.
I mean, Secret Wars is happening, but I think that's more of like the Skrulls.
What's that?
Like, did you watch Captain Marvel?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, well, good for you.
Why?
Because Skrulls are basically just like shapeshifters.
Alright.
That are on Earth. So I think Secret Wars is more about that.
Alright.
But hopefully that something...
But if they would make Spider-Man 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 3...
I would watch them.
I think people would appreciate that, because apparently people, after seeing No Way Home, are now going back to the old Spider-Man films, which is what I've done.
I've watched Spider-Man 1 like 3 times since I watched it.
Did you? I've seen that one a few days ago, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I know, you sent me the video.
Yeah, while I was sick. You're there, like, stressing over the show that you're in that I cannot be in because I'm sick, and
I have to take over for you.
And I'm like Willem Dafoe.
I like how as soon as I saw that, I was walking down the stairs. I didn't care who saw me. I literally recorded myself saying misery, misery, misery.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
yeah, I think that's
we hope you enjoyed that. We've been talking for 50 minutes about the Spider-Verse
and just the Spider-Man and the history of Spider-Man, basically.
Yeah, it's something. Hopefully you've seen all of them. If you haven't, go and see them anyway, even if it doesn't even matter about the spoilers anymore. It's just an amazing Spider-Verse. So yeah, guys, hopefully we're going to see more videos, but again, we cannot control it because of college and everything. But to be fair, we might have more free time now for a bit.
Yeah.
Considering the show's kind of done in college.
True.
So we might have more free time.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.